And there's a lot to cover on this city news, including a major construction project that will be affecting your drive in and out of southern Coral Gables. Rodolfo Roman is at the construction site with more. Rodolfo?
Thanks, Belkis. Right now we are standing on Old Cutler Road, Southwest 105th Street, and you can see right behind me the traffic is backed up, and this is all because of this construction, which will help the city sewer line. The third phase of the Old Cutler Road Sanitary Sewer Force Main project is now underway. If you are driving on Old Cutler from Snapper Creek Road to Red Road, expect some delays. The two-lane road has been reduced to one lane with flagmen directing traffic. Crews are replacing a 30-year-old force main that services the Snapper Creek subdivision in southern Coral Gables. The work will bring the outdated and overloaded infrastructure up to current standards by replacing the force main with a durable sewer line.
More reliable system, one that will last them at least another 40 to 50 years.
If you regularly use this road, make sure to avoid it from now on. Your best bet is to take Red Road or Kendall Drive as alternatives. Construction here should wrap up by August, but this is not the end of the construction on Old Cutler. The fourth and final phase is expected to begin in October. Drivers will notice a change to one of the city's main streets. A portion of Douglas Road now bears the name of former City Commissioner William H. Kurdyke Sr. from Southwest 8th Street to Southwest 22nd Street. Family members, residents, and past public officials were on hand at a ceremony to seal the unveiling of the street sign last month. Kurdyke Sr. is the father of Vice Mayor William Kurdyke Jr. Kurdyke Sr. served on the Coral Gables Commission for almost 3 decades. He passed away in 2007. Next time you park in front of City Hall, you'll be inserting money into a new parking machine. The new pay and display machines have replaced older versions that only accepted coins and credit cards. It's more convenient now for visitors and residents because you'll be able to also pay for parking using cash. The machines also process payment faster. The city will try out the machines for 4 months. Depending on the results, they'll decide if they will implement the equipment elsewhere in the area. For Coral Gables Now, Rodolfo Roman. Back to you, Belkis.
All right, thanks, Rodolfo. Coral Gables Now is just getting started. The Coral Gables Storm is making headlines, but it's the good kind. It's a soccer team, and you'll meet the coach that has led them to victory next. And later, something you won't want to miss. We'll take you behind the scenes at the police department and show you the important work being done to stop drunk driving in the city.
Some people still believe in hurricane myths. Are you one of them? Coming up, I'll debunk the top hurricane myths. Stay tuned, there's more Coral Gables Now coming up.
A powerful storm is turning heads in Coral Gables, but we're talking about a soccer team, an all-girls soccer team at that, and they've won championship after championship. Tim Plummer, the coach of the Storm, is here with us, and we also have a player, Danielle Fries. Thank you both of you for being here.
Our pleasure.
So tell me about your latest win. You know, your recent win was the Inca Kola Fiesta Cup. Tell me about that.
The Inca Kola Fiesta Cup is a 5-on-5 tournament. The field is about half the size of a regulation field, and we split our teams up into 2 different teams, and Danny was on a team that won the championship for the under-12 division. Danny and about 6 other Storm players. It's the first time a Coral Gables Youth Center team has won the Fiesta Cup.
Wow. And is it a competitive game, this one in specific?
Absolutely.
It was?
Yes, absolutely. Very competitive teams from generally all over Dade County. We played a team from Miami Lakes, we played a team from Pinecrest, and we played another team from Coral Gables as well.
Now, this is not your first win by far, so tell me about some of the other championships that you've won.
Well, the biggest one that the girls won this year was the Flugza Division I championship, which is the highest level for the Florida United Girls Soccer Association. The Flugza League is a 7-county league at very high level of competition of soccer. No girls team from Coral Gables had ever won this high level of the Flugza Championship, and it's a very well-run organization. It's the oldest all-girls soccer league in the United States. I think it's been around since the late 80s. So it was quite an accomplishment for the girls winning at the highest level of Flugza.
So what did you think, Danny, when you saw that you were getting close to that win? Was it exciting for you guys?
For sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, it just made us try harder.
And how has winning all these things changed you? I mean, you guys are more confident as a team that you can get it done. Tell me about that.
Well, yeah, that's true, but we want to strive to do our best. So.
Okay. And this, you know, you guys have even been honored at commission meetings before, because this is a great accomplishment, especially for the city. Tell me about the team. We know that obviously a lot of it has to do with the coach, but tell me about your team as well.
Definitely, and the biggest part was the coach, and I was the assistant coach this year. We had a gentleman named Greg Sheehan, who was an assistant coach for the University of Miami women's team. We have a team that was kind of interesting. I'd say about 90% of the girls are from the city of Coral Gables. It's an under 13 girls team, but only half of the girls were under 13. The other half were under 12s, like Danny. And they are at such a high level of soccer competence that they were able to play up, and not only play up for this very competitive team, but win this FLUGSA championship. So we're very, very proud of them and all the hard work that they put in, and their skill development from when we started in August to when we basically finished in March was just phenomenal to watch.
And Danny, is this something that you do for fun?
Yeah, I think soccer is my favorite sport, and it's really fun to play.
Did you get started at a young age, or?
3rd grade.
In 3rd grade?
Yeah.
And you always did it because you thought it was fun?
Yeah.
And now it's like a competitive thing too, right? Because I mean, it feels good to win championships.
Yeah.
Do you have any friends in it?
Yeah. Half of the team was from my old school, and a lot of them, they became my really good friends.
So what are you going to do this summer? Because now we're going into summer, and you know, you take a break from, right, Tim? There's a break now from the actual team.
Right. From when we finished and won the championship in March till May, when we did the Inca Kola Fiesta Cup, we took about a 6 or 7 week break. Now the girls are off for the summer. But some of the things that have happened is there's been a lot of good exposure for the girls at this very high level, and Danny's playing for a summer league that's at a very, very high level as well. So she'll be doing that during the summer. Most of the girls are taking time off.
Very cool. So why do you think your team is successful?
Because we all work together, and it's all about teamwork, and we put a lot of effort into what we do.
And tell me about the practices, and how does that work out for you guys?
Well, they're very intense, and after we're very tired, so.
And this is after school hours? I mean.
Yeah, at night.
So you really have to be dedicated, you know, to do this, because I mean, you've got, I'm sure, lots of homework, and then aside from that, you have to go out and get into gear and do your thing. Yeah. But it's okay with you? Yeah. And finally, we've got another award that was just handed out to goalkeeper Sofia Trujillo. Tell me about that.
Sofia Trujillo was the MVP of our team. She is the goalkeeper and has started to really develop herself to be a top-level player, and people are recognizing that. She went through the Olympic Development Program training in South Florida during the season and made it through the first cut, but did not make the final selection. But that was quite an honor. I don't think anyone from the city of Coral Gables that I'm aware of in the last 5 to 10 years has made it as far as she had in the Olympic Development Program. She's a great kid, very dedicated, an excellent athlete, and the Youth Center, Coral Gables Youth Center, recognized that. She also played softball at the Coral Gables Youth Center. Wow. I believe she was a pitcher and a first baseman. Just a great kid. The Gus Lancaster Award is all about attitude and sportsmanship and some athletic ability, and Sofia exceeds all of that criteria, and we're very, very proud of her that she was able to reach that goal and win the Gus Lancaster Award.
Well, congratulations to her and to you guys. You guys are doing a great job and really pushing our athletic program in Coral Gables to the next level.
Thank you.
And for more information on the storm, you can actually call the Coral Gables Parks and Recreation Department, that number 305-460-5600. Still to come on Coral Gables Now, police in Coral Gables are on a mission to stop drunk driving. Find out why the city handles so many DUI cases. It's all part of Coral Gables Television's special report, Drink, Drive, and Kill. And then we sit down with a Marine Patrol officer who has 40 miles of waterway to patrol. We'll explain what the Marine Patrol unit is doing to keep people safe this summer. We'll be right back.